What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are having a great start to your day, the way that I surely am, because as the New York Mets are inching closer and closer to the MLB Trade Deadline on July 30th, showing interest in various players. I had absolutely no intention of talking about this player in particular tonight, but thanks to Jon Heyman for the MLB over the past couple hours, things have changed, as from this tweet here has said that while it is still very uncertain on if he will be dealt, the 32-year-old second baseman outfielder and Whit Merrifield for the Kansas City Royals will be monitored by many clubs, including the New York Mets. So that's what I'll be breaking down in today's video. Everything there is to know about Whit Merrifield, his game, the potential trade that could be had between these two clubs, why the Mets are showing interest in Whit Merrifield, and why he would be such a strong fit for them, and so much more. So as always, guys, make sure you stay all the way till the end of the video. Follow the details on all my thoughts on Whit Merrifield and the potential impact he could have on the Mets. And if you guys end up enjoying this kind of Mets content and you want to see more great Mets content like this, please do not hesitate from smashing that like and subscribe button, sharing this video with your friends, upon the notification bell, all those great things. Thank you so much for the continued support, guys. Without further ado, let's jump right into today's video. Here we have veteran infielder and outfielder for the Kansas City Royals and Whit Merrifield. Whit, who was originally drafted with the 269th pick of the 9th round back in 2010 by the Kansas City Royals, has found himself as one of the most consistent and hardworking players in all of baseball. Starting his career back in 2016 with the Royals, in which he played 81 games, has since been an absolute horse, an Iron Man, playing basically every single game, at least 150 plus every single season, played the entire shortened season of 60 games or so, and also this year's already played 94 games. He's on a phenomenal contract, which is why his value is so high, especially at 4 years at just over 60 million total, for one of the best bargains in all of baseball. And he brings so much to a team with opposite field power when it comes to just spreading the field overall, a fantastic eye on the plate, so hard to strike out in the 95th percentile and strikeout percentage according to Baseball Savant, and has plenty of speed on the bags in the 90th percentile in both the infield, outfield, and on the bags. He brings so much to whatever team could acquire him, and with the Kansas City Royals going to be sellers at this year's trade deadline and being reluctant to part ways with their veteran star and Whit Merrifield, no less, at the right price, it is something the Royals could very well find themselves considering, and the Mets, for more reasons than one, are showing interest. Alright, Mets fans, it shouldn't come as a surprise that we finally have a Whit Merrifield video on the channel. It feels long overdue, as many of you Mets fans have been in love with Merrifield, as I've interacted with you guys plenty on both social media and on the channel, going back to the offseason, talking about the chances of the Mets landing a guy like him. And even at the age of 32 right now, he is getting it done, and then some, to put it lightly. And he checks off all the boxes, according to Zach Scott, the GM for the New York Mets, and the kind of players that they'd be looking for leading up to the MLB Trade Deadline, as he stated in his podcast with Jon Heyman a couple days ago. I will have that in the description down below, folks, if you want to check it in. Definitely a great discussion piece to be had if you're trying to listen to it. But he stated that if they are in fact going to land a position player by the MLB Trade Deadline, they want someone with versatility, and that is exactly what Whit Merrifield is. Whit Merrifield, second baseman and an outfielder, awfully similar to a guy like, I don't know, Chris Bryant, who the Mets have been tagged to for the past half year, that we talk about endlessly. The Mets are still very much interested in, but between Bryant now getting injured once again for the Cubs, it doesn't look like it's anything too serious from what I've seen, but he's been dealing with nagging injuries on and off all throughout this season, and was also out for the majority of the shortened season last year thanks to injury. So the Mets do find themselves, for whatever reason, I'm not saying it's likely because I don't think it is, but they do find themselves pushing away from Bryant, even though he's a rental, so he will cost less, knowing that he has been a little bit injury plagued as of late. And you want to go for a guy that's the Iron Man, that has literally been playing every single game and has been for basically the majority of his career. That's a guy like Whit Merrifield, but the difference is, of course, going to be the cost. Yes, Whit isn't necessarily the big power bat in the sense of what Bryant has been and will continue to be in his career, but he brings consistency, and of course he's going to cost a lot because his contract at 4 years, 16 million plus, that is again one of the best bargain contracts in all of baseball. The Mets would truly have to cough up a guy like Ryan Mauricio, one of their top prospects, and probably some other significant prospects to get a deal done. Because listen, when you want a guy like Whit Merrifield with a Kansas City Royals team that isn't in necessarily love or favor to get rid of him, to put it lightly, you're going to have to do a sell job to them. But the Mets are showing interest for a good reason here, guys, because again, I think this would be a perfect pivot in this scenario where the Mets truly feel that Bryant won't be worthwhile, either because the cost is too high from the Cubs side of things for him being strictly a rental, or two, with them having natural concerns thanks to his little bit of injury history, and Whit Merrifield being the complete opposite. What do you get with a guy like Whit? Again, you get someone who can spread the field. This guy, even though he's a ready hitter, he's not a pull hitter at all. He can spread the field, get you opposite doubles, opposite singles, get you a bomb every now and then. Even though he only has 8 home runs on the season, he has 51 RBIs. He he is the carrying force, the driving force, I should say, of this Royals offense. He brings so much to this Mets club, and would be for a couple years now as he gets into his mid to late 30s, however long they would like to keep him. But no less, it would be a high asking price, but you get a fantastic guy at the plate, a guy that can be a place setter, have him anywhere you want in your lineup. And if you have him at second base, then you'd shift Jeff McNeil to third. If Jeff McNeil stays hot with the bat like he has been for a while now, as he's still on a Haynes streak at the time of recording this, or you put him in the outfield if you want to get versatile, especially with your matchups. Say you're not trusting Dom in a certain pitching matchup and you want to put him in the corner outfield, or whatever it's going to be, or even Nimmo, because Nimmo has not necessarily looked fantastic against lefties so far this season. If that's a route you want to go down, no less, you get creative, and he's a guy you want in your lineup more often than not. So trust me, guys, if there is any situation where the Mets actually find themselves landing Whit Merrifield from this reported interest, it will be worth their while. It will be a hefty price, but it'll make up for it in the end with his playoff experience, no less. And yes, I know that really isn't much there because he came into the Royals after they had their runs in 2014, 2015 against the Mets, as we know, but he is a clutch bat. He is an Iron Man, and he has all the tools, all of what Zach Scott and the Mets are currently looking for, which is what makes him so appealing. So Mets fans, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about Whit Merrifield and the potential trade that could be had here between the Royals and the Mets? What kind of package could you see actually making sense for the two, in which the Mets would outperform other teams, including many other teams that would be showing interest in him inevitably, and so much more, guys? So please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you guys end up enjoying this kind of Mets content and you want to see more great Mets content like this, especially leading up to the MLB Trade Deadline, where we have more individual videos and live streams happening, please make sure to smash that like and subscribe button, sharing this video with your friends, put on the notification bell, all those great things. Thank you so much for the continued support, guys. I love you all. I've been having a blast doing these videos, and I cannot wait for in-game live streams coming up against the Toronto Blue Jays tomorrow. At the time recording this, we'll be getting that Friday stream in. We'll be doing streams regarding the MLB Trade Deadline, things leading up to it, and the deadline probably itself, and so much more. So stay tuned. A lot of great content. So help us get to 8,000 subs by August, guys. It would really mean a lot. Thank you so much for the continued support again, and let's go Mets, baby.